Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, it's time to have a look and see what is going on when it comes to your monthly astrological forecast for June 2022. And just a quick heads up for you, Saturn and Neptune are going retrograde this month. That is on my radar, but I am saving them for a special video that will be coming out soon. Those are long-term retrogrades and they do go fairly deep, and if I try to truncate them for a monthly horoscope, it's not going to cover it, and if I turn it into a 45-minute rambling incoherent mess, then that's not going to make for a very good horoscope. So we're just going to not do either of those and take care of that in another video, so stay tuned for that. If you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com, or you can follow the links in the down bar below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, engagement helps this channel out a lot. So what's going on when it comes to your month of June? Well, we've got the Sun bringing attention, enhancement, and support to your 5th house of love, romance, recreation, creativity, as well as parenthood, Gemini, through the 21st of the month. And with the Sun here, we are enjoying a bit more of a vacation type of feel when it comes to all matters of love and parenthood. Because with the Sun here, bringing that attention, enhancement, and support, we are getting a chance to change the social conditions, the environmental conditions, as well as just the daily routines, the familiar patterns of these connections in order to bring in more fun, more adventure, more inspiration, as well as maybe even a bit more wholesome simplicity, especially when it comes to clearing away any kind of peripheral or internal complications that may have gotten in the way from, a more comfortable way of relating to one another. This is a great time, especially when it comes to a lot of you who may be looking to create a new bonding activity or engage in a new committed bonding activity with a romantic partner or maybe one of your kids to bring us closer together. We're changing the way that we relate to each other so that the bond is a lot stronger, so that, there is more levity, that there is more enjoyment, there's more excitement, there is just more of a restorative feel. And any kind of maybe old or peripheral complications are not really getting the support from the Sun because the Sun just has no tolerance for that kind of thing. This is also a time where a lot of you may be noticing that partners or partner intendeds, as well as our children, are becoming a lot more engaged, a lot more invitational, as well as a lot more creative, or let's just say inspired, as far as wanting to bring more adventure into these relationships as well. And you may also find that any kind of creative outlet that you've been looking to maybe capitalize on for whatever reason is going through its own atmospheric and environmental shift in order to provide maybe a big break opportunity for you or a platform for you to show your stuff or demonstrate some kind of talent or interest that you'd like to see maybe pick up some traction in your life. After the 21st, we've got the Sun moving on into Cancer for the duration of June and on into July. This is your 6th house of work, your reputation, your schedule, as well as anything to do with the teams that you're on, your client and customer base, and the services you provide to the world or the assignments that you have. With the Sun in the 6th house, we are seeing that atmospheric and environmental transformation move all the parts around, shuffle everybody around in such a way where everyone is going with whom and what they are most compatible. It can be a little bit chaotic when the Sun gets here because the Sun can sometimes stir the pot where this pot needs to be stirred. However, you may be finding that because of this, you are getting more value for what you're putting out there. You're getting more recognition for things that maybe were not understood or were maybe obscured or had been passed over. And you're also getting a chance to work with more highly capable people as far as your peers and colleagues are concerned, as well as work with clients and customers that are more compatible with who you are right now, as opposed to maybe just working with anyone and anything. There is a focus on you getting to do what you do best, and also a focus on you being able to do the assignments or be in the spaces you want to be when it comes to your work life, as opposed to maybe just having to do something or deal with what shows up. You might also find that because of a lot of these contributions and a lot of this kind of shakiness that's going on here, that you are also finding that the standards and policies around maybe a package or a pre-existing agreement or arrangement that you have with your field or with your job are also up for transformation in a good way. Anything you'd like to adjust or custom design, you're going to be having that support this month. We have Mars, the planet of action, passion, that obstacle-clearing driving force in Aries all month long. This is your third house of communications, pacts, promises, commitments, as well as, yes, even your peer group and helpful third parties. Now, with Mars in the third house, there is a focus on clearing old attachments, eliminating old ties or tethers or cords that may keep you trapped or attached to either situations or even people that are maybe better off left in your past, not necessarily a part of where you are right now. Any kind of containments that you have been put in, any kind of obligations that maybe still speak for your time, or God forbid, even your spending money, we get a chance to challenge, undo, and break ourselves free from this month. This is also a time where you're going to be finding that helpful third parties are coming to help you fight your battles, as well as hook you up, right? With Mars in the third house, this is where our friends, this is where our peers take things off our hands, right? So that we don't have to carry them and still get the job done with and for us. You're also going to find that there may be a few brilliant helpers who want to become more permanent fixtures in your life, whether it's in your social life, your family life, or maybe even something going on with a professional or creative pursuit. However, I will say with Mars in the third house, watch out, Aquarius. Sometimes we can get a little bit too bitey when we are, using this energy to break free or change how we're viewed or taken in by the world. And it is the third house of communication. So you want to make sure that you don't confuse being assertive for being so aggressive it makes you look socially awkward and all out affected. So make sure that you check what you text before you send it, or otherwise, sometimes Mars can put us in a space where a bit too much comes out all at once. Not all the time, just every once in a while. We've got Venus, the planet of love, favor, popularity, and affection in Taurus through the 22nd of the month. This is your fourth house of home and family, the domicile, home-based business operations, and your general home economy. And with Venus in the fourth house, you are noticing that your world is transforming in such a way where, we're bringing in a lot more luxury. We're bringing a lot more finery into our everyday as it relates to our living situation, as well as anyone we share that with, whether it's family, whether it's housemates. You're noticing that a lot of maybe long-term investments or maybe a home-based business operation is generating a whole lot of new liquidity, which is absolutely gorgeous. And Venus is also working on drawing in opportunities to become closer with family, whether it's blood kin, in-laws, or chosen family, to create a new type of unit for us all to bond and be a part of. Those of you who are curious about love and romance may also find that when Venus is in Taurus, there may be an opportunity to close a distance between you and a potential new love interest because, there may actually be love coming close to home, either moving into the neighborhood or maybe love connecting you or a love connection being made through somebody that you have roots with or a connection to, kind of being bridged in that way. After the 22nd, we've got Venus moving on into Gemini for the duration of June and on into July. And with Venus in your fifth house of love, romance, creativity, as well as recreation and parenthood, this is a time where you are getting a chance to have a bit of a honeymoon phase when it comes to an existing relationship or maybe even getting a honeymoon phase started with somebody new. Because Venus is all about bringing in more demonstration of affection, but also bringing in a lot more creativity, as well as a lot more intimacy through letting our hair down, really letting ourselves become a lot more experimental, a lot more explorative, but also a lot more involved, a lot more romantic, bringing in that love and that affection for adventure, for experience, for creating new memories. You're drawing in a lot of attention from new people. For those of you who are single and available, you're a bit of a love magnet with this kind of aspect. And for those of you in existing relationships, like I said, it's going to feel like another holiday or honeymoon, especially as we close up June and going into July. We have Mercury, the planet of communications, speed, and productivity. In Taurus, that fourth house of home and family, the first half of the month through the 13th. Mercury is direct here as of the 3rd. And Mercury is speeding up developments when it comes to maybe projects or long dialogues or even big transactions as it relates to home and family matters. We could be opening up lines of communication as well with family members or with close friends that maybe we do have roots with or we do have history with that we would like to open up. And so we are able to bridge gaps in that way as well. Mercury is also speeding up the fruition of a lot of investments or a lot of work you've maybe been doing around the house or a home-based business operation. And a lot of you may also find that if you do have a shared revenue arrangement or a joint finance arrangement as it relates to maybe a business partnership, a home-based business operation, or a spouse, there is going to be news of a deadline, a goal, or something that we have been trying to save for starting to turn a corner this month, and we may even be meeting that goal this month, if not this month, certainly as we get into July. This is also a great time for anyone who's been looking to maybe move or maybe finalize or hurry up some kind of real estate transition that maybe you have been working on throughout the first half of the year. After the 13th, we've got Mercury moving on into Gemini, that fifth house of love, romance, recreation, creativity, and parenthood, through the duration of June and on into July. And Mercury is focusing on changing how we communicate, right? Creating a new kind of intellectual rapport with romantic partners, with our kids, as well as any kind of creative collaborators that we are working with or we would like to connect to. Mercury in the fifth house can be great for speeding up the acquisition of a new team, or maybe even drawing close to you allies that you would like for some kind of creative venture. This is also a time where you may be finding that you and one of your children are also getting a chance to create a different way of relating to each other because of this new intellectual rapport. And we are going to a space where we are maturing a lot of these connections and relationships as well. A lot of these involvements are maturing actually quite quickly. And that is because Mercury is all about also speeding up the productivity of these relationships, making them not only more productive and fulfilling, but also advancing and maturing the relationship by leveling it up. Finally, we want to talk about our lunations for the month. We've got a full moon in Sagittarius on June 11th. This is all about culminations, transitions, and endings. And this is opening up a 2-week window period between the 14th of June and the 28th of June. Now, this is in your 11th house of friendships and social networking, and this can be seen as a bit of a social pruner when it comes to astrology. Sometimes a full moon in the 11th house means we might be deciding to go no contact with a friend or an associate or maybe even a group or a clique that we're already kind of at wit's end with. Now, I do want to stress this is 9 out of 10 times something that is strictly platonic. So this is not really a romantic space. We're talking more about the guys, the girls, the crew, that kind of thing. And with the full moon, typically, in the 11th house, like I said, we're already at wit's end with this person or with this situation. This is not something that is coming as a surprise. This could be the final straw that just does it, and we decide, you know what, I can't really rely on him anymore, or I can't trust her anymore, or this group has been bringing me nothing but drama or headache, and I gotta go. And that's okay. Sometimes we have to go through these prunes, right? Readjust our boundaries, focus on making sure we have the company we keep be the best it possibly can, because guess what? The company we keep, including digitally, influences our reality more than any out-group, right? We're sharing that energy with the people we spend the most time with, and sometimes we got to do some filtering. Finally, we also have a new moon in Cancer on June 28th. This is your 6th house of work, reputation, your schedule, as well as the teams you're on, your client and customer base. And a new moon is all about seed planting, new beginnings, and initiations. And this is opening up a 2-week window period for just that because, well, seed planting and new beginnings could indicate a new job, a new service, a new product, or maybe a new team that you are able to commit to in this 2-week period that gives your income a considerable boost. Yes, how you are seen, how you are viewed in the world is going through a big transformation as well, especially when it comes to the legacy of what you give to your community, your field, your market, or your office. You may also find with this new moon that a lot of you are tapping into a new client or customer base that is going to be helping you generate some serious liquidity over the course of the next coming days. 90 days. Let's not leave it there. 90 days. And you may be finding that this is setting up a new normal, especially for the final quarter of the year when it comes to your earning power. So that is what I've got for you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, you can go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.